Hello and welcome. I am Kevin Hartman, and I'm so excited to be here with you for this course, Marketing Analytics in Theory. Marketing analytics has always been a passion of mine. In my current role at Google as head of industry, as well as at advertising agencies that I've been at before, running strategic analytics teams, I've always loved the challenge of finding the right kind of data, analyzing it, and coming up with answers to big brand problems, and then presenting those insights out in ways that people understand. So we're going to take a little look in this introduction at the course, how it lays out, and just some other things that you should know before we get going. So let's talk about the objectives for this course, Marketing Analytics in Theory. First objective is to gain an understanding of the data collection and analysis methods marketing professionals are using today. Second objective is to learn how to evaluate and choose appropriate web analytics tools and techniques for your analysis. Next, understand frameworks and approaches to measuring consumer action. Consumer action is messy. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of information that they're both conveying as well as pulling in from brands. We'll talk about some frameworks that will help us make sense of all that information. And then finally, earn familiarity with the unique measurement opportunities and challenges presented by new media. New media has come in and provided such robust, rich information for us to conduct analysis on, but it hasn't been without its dangers, and we'll look at some of those pitfalls. Required texts include a great work by Eric Peterson that can be downloaded and really provides a very solid foundational understanding of web analytics. We will then supplement that with various blog posts, online articles, other things that will add more texture and context to the great work by Eric Peterson. So how will this course be organized? In each lesson, we'll have 5 key points, 5 things that we'll be discussing during that lesson. We will talk about them at the beginning of the lesson as we're going in, and then also at the end of each lesson, this slide will reappear and we'll kind of sum up the things that we talked about and the things that we learned. There will also be supplemental reading highlighted at the end of each lesson. If you want to go further into the things that we've discussed, you want to get a better understanding or a little more context around some of the discussion points, that reading list will be there for you at the end of each session. Now, let's talk about what this class is not and then what it is. What it is not is a deep dive into web metrics, statistical theory, research methods. Those are things that you can take on outside of this course. In fact, most of those things have courses already built around them, so you can round out all of your knowledge by taking other courses in those areas. This course is not going to be a dashboard building workshop, nor a series of product demos, nor accreditation in any marketing tools. That's not what we're trying to do with this course. What we are doing is taking a marketer's approach to web analytics with a heavy emphasis on digital data. Digital data is so important in our contemporary marketing and such an efficient and effective way for us to get to insights that we're going to spend a lot of time talking about that. And this is born out of a lot of experience that I've had as a marketer myself. This course is also a discussion of how marketers approach the identification, selection, collection, analysis, and presentation of data. That sounds like a lot, but that really is everything that you need to know as a marketer as you start off trying to tackle a brand challenge or a marketing question, how to do each of those things, and we'll be discussing them in this course. This course is also an in-depth look at approaches, frameworks, techniques, all the things that you're going to need to be an effective marketing analyst today. And we'll spend a good deal of time discussing those things. So let's take a look at the lessons that we have in store for us. So during Module 1, there's this introduction where we're previewing everything. And then Lesson 1, the day the geeks took over, getting a good understanding of the impact that analytics and data have had in marketing and the decision-making process for marketers. Module 2 has a couple lessons. One is the basics of web analytics, where we really lay that foundation of understanding how data is collected and what data is available for us to be analyzing. And then lesson 3, an introduction to web analytics tools, starting to get an insight into what tools can be used to collect data, analyze data, visualize data. As I've said, there's a whole host of tools out there, and we'll be identifying some of the more prominent ones. In week 3, we'll be talking about where everything begins, which is with that consumer, and we'll be talking through a fantastic framework for analyzing consumer interaction with brands. And then following that up with lesson 5, the consumer brand relationship, looking at the different channels that brands use to connect with consumers, specifically search, display, online, and social media, and determining why brands use those channels, and then the metrics that they make available as we're assessing those channels. Finally, in Module 4, we'll be talking about, in Lesson 6, data everywhere. Some of the more important data sources that are out there that I've personally found to be very useful for me, and providing you with a whole host of data that you can go out as an analyst and determine what works for you. Before Lesson 7, new media, new opportunities, new dangers, understanding all the promise and the pitfalls of digital data so that we as analysts, as we are collecting information, can come to it with our eyes wide open and hopefully in that way minimize the threats of data error. Now, as far as our mindset going in, it's vitally important for you as an analyst to have a very balanced art plus science approach to data analytics. What I'm talking about is you linking the hardcore quant side of your left brain with the more artistic, expressive side of your right brain, and bringing those two things together. Not everyone has to be Einstein, not everyone has to be Pablo Picasso, but I want you thinking somewhere in the middle there. If you take that mindset into this theoretical approach to marketing analytics, you will be fantastic and you'll come out a great, great analyst. Let's get started.